You're locked into the Womanora Crush Wednesday podcast, the only weekly podcast inspiring, educating, motivating 1 million women entrepreneurs one Wednesday at a time. The WCW podcast is fueled by the purpose formula: passion plus purpose plus profit equals success. And here are your hosts, Jen and Modi.
Hey, crushes,
You are listening to WCW Podcast. We're on a live episode. It's Friday. Cheers to the weekend.
Yes, cheers to the weekend, ladies out there, our crushes out there. Tonight we are doing our tea time. We apologize that it's a week late, but with our busy lives and things like that, you know, we chose to at least try to do it. So tonight we'll be talking about being fearless and owning your magic. Jen and I talk about this often, and I think that this comes into a lot of conversations a lot of times about being in your comfort zone and how, you know, you can be in your comfort zone and be comfortable, but how long are you going to be comfortable there? Not long. It's not going to be too long.
For some people, they might be in their comfort zone and they will be staying there, which is the problem.
I agree. I totally agree.
But carry on. What were you saying?
No, I was just saying that, you know, just how fair of failure, like the fear of failure. Okay, for instance, today I was listening to a woman, I forget her name. Carolyn Mice, I think is her name. She's an author. She's a holistic author. But she talked about how a lot of fear that people have, it really comes from like early stages, like your early stages of being a person. It comes from whatever you learn when you're growing up. That fear, you know, like for instance, she even made mention of a guy. I forget, but let me just tell you a little bit of what I heard. Is this guy grew up? I think he was about 5 when he heard this story from his grandmother. Right? He said, his grandmother told him that if you drink, that you'll die. If you drink any alcohol, you'll die. Like, you cannot drink no alcohol because you will die.
You're finished. You're done.
You're done. So, basically, he, so she says this, and she said, promise me that you will never drink. He's like, okay. So, this 40-something-year-old man is giving his presentation and saying that he's never drank an ounce of alcohol. Because of the fear from what his grandmother told him at 5.
Okay.
That's wow.
Crazy. Biggest causes of fear is things that you learn as a child and things that maybe you know, because your parents are your first, like, mentors. They're your first, or your grandmother or whoever is raising you, that they tell you, you know, when you're growing up, you take it as fact, like truth, because that's all you know, and those are the people, you know, you've been listening to and trusting thus far, though, since you've been alive. So, that's why I think as moms, any fear except for fear of God in my child, because it's so dangerous to be so scary, even if you're not directly your child can see fear in your behaviors. And so if you're a scary person, always scared of doing this, always scared of doing that, then I definitely believe children can pick up on that.
Oh, yes.
What do you think?
I believe children pick up on it very easily, very quickly. If you are afraid, let me tell you, okay? One of my fears is frogs, believe it or not. And if a family member is listening, they'll probably start laughing right now because everyone knows my fear of frogs. Like, if you know me, you know that that's not something you ever want to play with my D with. I'm scared of frogs.
I mean, I was coming to your house one night in Houston, and you did a high jump. You did a gold medal high jump.
Yeah.
To escape from the frog.
Yeah.
I seen it with my own eyes.
Yeah. So one day my sons and I were coming in, and there was a frog on the door, like on a knob. And I said, I can't. I'm not.
So what'd you do?
I called the neighbor's son to come over. But my kids were with me. My baby, he doesn't know what's going on. The little one he's looking like, well, my middle one is really like my adventurer. He'll go, but he was really small at the time. And my oldest was like, oh no, Mom, I can't. And I was just like, okay, you don't have to. So I had one of our neighbors, their son, he's always carrying around those frogs. Like, I said, look, come over here. Go and get that frog off of my knob. And he said, oh, it's just a small little frog. And he just picked it up, and I said, okay, thank you. And opened my door with a piece of some napkin or something. But I was so terrified, y'all. I didn't think I was going to be able to get in the house that day until my husband came home,
Wow.
So yeah, I'm afraid, and that's what I will tell you, that I'm afraid. But we've been in this area for some years now, and now I'm feeling like, okay, now the fear, I need to really grow up and stop being so fearful of them, because it kind of hindered me when I was younger. It hindered me from even going outside at night when it was summertime, most especially because I knew that they were out and about chilling. Like, I remember crushing one with my heel. With the heel, it went in between the crack. That's so. Okay, that's my.
I'm scared of rats, and will have me confined. And it's a rat. I'll just stay in the bed. Like, I won't even go to the bathroom. I'll just hold it and just stay. I'll put the covers up on the bed, make sure nothing is touching the floor. Be just stuck. Mm-hmm. Just can't. I can't. I won't. I can't. I won't. So, rats, that's my, whatever is your frog, that's a rat for me. So I can't do rats. Mm-hmm. But life. Okay, well, if I see a rat and Naomi see me be scared of a rat, if she could be scared of rats, that's fine. But as far as life is concerned, I would say that I really don't have too many fears. When I say life, I mean like things that I deal with on an everyday basis. Business wise, off the top of my head, I can't really name one right now. I really try to. I feel like at some point we're all afraid of taking the next step, or, success, or fear of failure, or fear of whatever. Like, we all have those moments. But for me, I see that fear and I kind of enjoy it. Like, I get a rush from it to say, like, okay, this is big. Like, I got to do this. I got to go full steam with this, because this little fear, then it means this must be something. I might have something here. Mm-hmm. So for me, that's how That's how I deal with the fear part. But do you have anything on that?
Well, I think instead of thinking that you may fail because of the fear that you have, you should play with the idea that any dream that you pursue can come true. And the reason why I say that is because let's talk about college, a little bit about college. A lot of us, we've gone to college, and a lot of us have stories about college and how you've had several how can I put it? Several hiccups is what I mean. Like, for instance, you go to financial aid. Let's talk about financial aid. You go to financial aid line, and they tell you that this semester you will not be able to come to classes. That your bill is due on. I mean, no, your loans will cover on September 3rd, but classes start on August 22nd, and you need the money on August 22nd in order to start classes. They will not let you withdraw. If you withdraw, you withdraw, but you cannot even come back on September 2nd. So how am I going to be able to finagle this? And you want me to put down $10,000? Like, how can I do that? I cannot do that. You know what I mean? And I'll be right back.
For me, I've been in that situation before. This is live, you guys, so this is not one of our planned recording sessions. As far as when we have kids, we have, other responsibilities. So in a live show, anything can happen. So I've been in that situation before where money for school and you have no idea where you're going to get that money from. And it's not really a fear thing. It's more of like, just, what am I going to do? I mean, it's more like an anxiety thing, I guess. I don't know. It's not really a fear per se. But for me in that situation, when a situation is just bigger than me, all I can do is just pray about it. Pray for the answers, pray for the solution, and pray the outcome will definitely be in my favor, because you do. So, of sitting around and being fearful and being worried, stressed out when the situation is completely beyond anything that you can do, beyond your control. So, I think that sometimes we have to embrace fear. We have to go towards it and not let it consume us. We have to feel the fear and do the thing anyway. That's been a very, very great quote that I've heard before, is feel the fear and do it anyway, because once you don't let the fear overtake you, you're able to reach your goals or reach your dreams or whatever you intended to do.
Sorry,
I just summed up the what you said. I've been in that situation before when you don't have money for school. So
basically what I mean is, I mean, and Jen may have said what I'm getting ready to say, but what I'm saying is that if you have a bachelor's degree, even a bachelor's degree, you have a story behind that, and not every story is the same. Not every story is that different either, but you made it. You got that bachelor's degree. Guess what? You know how many times you can count how many times you were fearful before a test, before a paper, before a presentation. You had a little bit of fear in you, and you still did it, and you moved on, and you were able to graduate. That's a a great thing, you know, and it happens on a daily basis. But, you know, it really, that's just one story. That's like a scenario of how a lot of us may have overcome fear. You know, it's like it could be a month or two before graduation and you have to take a test in order to graduate. I don't know why you waited 2 or 3 months before graduating to do it, but you did. So now you only have really one shot. You take the exam, you pass the exam, you are relieved. Before you took the exam, you were fearful. You took the exam, you overcame that fear for that moment, you took the exam. Now you're worried because I haven't even gotten my test results back yet. You get your test results, you pass, you've passed, you're graduating. That's a story in itself. There's so many stories that you can talk about when it comes to fear, and I feel like, you know, my aunt she plays a really big part in my life, and, you know, she took me out of a few situations that could have caused me some harm, but I remember her always saying that you have to get out of your comfort zone. You have to get out of your comfort zone. And I believe that that's what led me out of D.C. to Ohio when I pursued my bachelor's degree. Because my comfort zone is D.C. You know, being at home, being with family, being around friends and things like that, that was my comfort zone. And I never thought that I would leave my comfort zone. And when I finally did, guess what? I could never go back, you know, and just stay put. I went back for a couple of years and I still rolled out. So I feel like that quote that she mentioned, it will always play in my mind all the time. You cannot just stay in your comfort zone. You have to get out of your comfort zone.
Yeah, and I think another thing to piggyback on that, to help you overcome your fears is just getting comfortable being uncomfortable. And intentionally putting yourself in situations where you might be a little more uncomfortable about a certain thing that you're unsure about or don't know how to do or unfamiliar with or brand new to put yourself in those situations is how you're going to grow and ultimately overcome any fears that you might have. So getting comfortable being uncomfortable definitely is key, clutch to me, to helping you overcome your fears. I want to talk about owning your magic. Madi said earlier, everybody has a story. And for me, I feel like discovering me different and what makes me stand out from the crowd, what makes me and owning my authenticity is probably one of the best things that I've ever done in life for my own personal and self-development. Because once you know your it factor, what makes you different, or what makes your authenticity, and you're able to tell your story, walk in that truth and in that story, I feel like you're pretty much unstoppable. You're pretty much that you will come across or come up against or face that may try to get you down or may try to maybe a little bit depressing or maybe a jab to your self-confidence. I feel like you'll be able to overcome it because you know you're owning your magic. You're walking in your authenticity. So owning your magic, I think, is clutch to overcoming your fear, moving to the next level, and just success in general.
And don't pay attention to anything that anybody else is doing. When you have your when you have your mind set on something, let it be set on that. There are going to be several people doing the same thing. Do not let their how can I put it? Their greater, or what kind of influence, their status or their influence, don't let it stop you. You know, if 7 people are coaches, you want to be a coach? Be a great coach. Be an authentic coach. Be a coach that, you know, that no one else can think of, you know, like something you come up with, something that you can sit down and say, okay, this is what I want to coach about. You know, it may be different from someone and it may be the same from someone, but it depends on how you deliver it. Don't stop. Don't let.
And nobody's going to deliver it like you will deliver it, because everyone is their own person.
Exactly. So don't let outsiders. You know, we have a quote that's on our Instagram page, or maybe not. But it said, "I'm too worried about how my grass is growing to worry about what your grass look like." Okay?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, what I'm saying is you have a lot of knowledge, okay? You've learned over the years from several books, several YouTube channels, several inspiring workshops that you may go to, conventions, whatever. Guess what? Holding knowledge is nothing. It doesn't do anything. Mm-hmm. Knowledge with action is where the power is, okay? So with that knowledge, and you put it out, like, for instance, you know a lot about green vegetables, and you know what you can use for detox, you know what you can use for your eyes, you know what you can use for your skin, you know, things like that. Guess what? Not everyone knows that. And it's great. If you feel that passionate about it, do it.
Mm-hmm. You know? Definitely. That was powerful. Gems all over the place.
All over.
So we gave you just 3 little tokens tonight, 3 gems that you could take from this tea time. This tea time, by the way, was a little bit more, I think, serious than
any other tea time we've had.
Than any other tea time. We really didn't have too much laughs and jokes as usual. So if you missed out on that and you wanted to hear that, let us know. Send us an email, comment on our Instagram, let us know. And we can definitely go back to that. But not planning to go back to that either. But this is just a message for tonight, what we were feeling for the week. Right. So anyway, back to the 3 points. So the first one was be fearless.
Yes.
The second one was owning your magic. And the third one was focusing on your lane, mm-hmm. and not worrying about what somebody else may be doing.
Right. And I think that a lot of successful entrepreneurs, that's how they've been made. If you're successful and you know what you're doing, you ain't worried about the next person that's doing a podcast, or the next person that's vlogging, fashion blog, who's selling clothes on Instagram, things like that. Like, you're not
who's selling waist trainers.
Oh yeah, fajas. Do not worry.
I'm sorry, I can't go through this whole Friday without any laughs. I'm sorry.
Telling you, I'm just saying, you know, that faja, them people, let me tell you, Jen, maybe that's something we could probably do on the side. That's a good hustle, because
listen, I can't and I won't. I can't.
You know what? If that's what you do, guess what? More power to you.
More power to you. I have a waist trainer, and when I have my next child, that trainer will be coming right on. Mm-hmm. But I will not you will not see any merch of waist trainers on the WCW podcast page.
Right.
However, if that is your hustle, hey, more power to you. But I won't. Me or Madi and I won't be hustling that per se. But
if you
yeah.
can...
So tea time was informative today. Sorry, there wasn't a lot of tea in there.
Right. But we had our tea though, so we good. But crushes, if you're listening right now, wherever you're listening to us on, is it Spreaker, iTunes, on SoundCloud, wherever, Google Play Podcasts, wherever you're listening to our podcast right now, if you can put a comment on like wherever you can find a comment section for us, name a book that has inspired you. Put that in there so we can like have a discussion about that book or a few books, because we have some ideas. We have a lot of great stuff coming out of WCW podcast really, really soon. And, you know, I know that there's some great books out there that have inspired you guys, and we want to know, so maybe we can maybe get the author on here or something.
Also, secondly, if you have a woman that is inspirational to you, whatever woman that has inspired you in 2016, your greatest influential woman or motivational woman or woman that you have learned from in 2016, could you please give us the name of that woman, either on Instagram or in the comment section on SoundCloud, iTunes, Google Play, or Stitcher, wherever it is that you listen to podcasts. If you could just leave us that name, even Facebook, if you can leave us that name,
or Twitter,
or Twitter, we will definitely appreciate it and give you a shout out on an upcoming episode. So, where are our handles, Madi?
Our Twitter handle is WCW Podcast Show, at WCW Podcast Show. Our Facebook is Womanor Crush Wednesday Podcast. And our Instagram is also WCW Podcast. And wherever really you can find us, we're usually WCW Podcast or the whole thing, Womanor Crush Wednesday Podcast.
Yes. All right, crushes. Cheers to the weekend. Happy Friday. Thank you for tuning in. And if you like what you hear, don't forget to leave us a review, 5-star review, wherever it is that you listen to your podcast. We really appreciate it. And that's how we keep the show going. And that's how we know we're doing a great job.
Yes. And if you have any questions or you need to just shout us a holler, let us know how we're doing. We are at womanorcrushwednesday@gmail.com. So remember that. Next time.
Good night.